What's up, YouTube? Special shout out to the subscribers here on the channel. Thank you so much, and welcome to another weekly training video where I'm here to discuss all of the training I'm doing to prepare for Ironman Texas coming up in April of 2026. This summer, I've been working on trying to get stronger and a little bit faster by focusing on some short course racing and really prioritizing strength training. If you watched my video last week, I talked about how I've needed to take some time off from running because I've been diagnosed with a TFL injury on my left side. So today, I'm going to talk about how that injury recovery is progressing, take a look at the training I got done last week, and then take a look at the training I have planned for the week coming up. So, starting off, I just actually came back from my sports chiropractor that I went and saw. I don't have a sports psychiatrist. Either way, the visit with her went well today. She dug into the same areas that she did last week, and it was noticeably less painful today. So, last time she dug in with her elbow on my TFL on the left side. TFL is located really right on the outside of your hip here. It's like a small muscle that connects to all kinds of stuff. And last time when she dug in there with her elbow, it was like my entire left side riveted up together and bunched up, and I was fighting it with my whole body. It was like very intense. Today, it was probably 20 to 30% of that at best. It stung, it burned a little bit while she was digging in there, but I didn't have that sort of full body reaction. She moved down from my TFL just like she did last time. She worked on the outside of my left quad a little bit, moved down onto my left calf to the peroneus tendon, which is down there. I think I'm saying it right. And then she ended up pressing around on the outside of the heel of my foot today, which is actually where the pain is presenting. This whole thing started because I'm having pain in my left heel. Turns out it's my TFL, and it also turns out that I injured my TFL all the way back in April when I completed Ironman Texas this year. So the other thing that we did today, which was different, is I had my foot submerged in some water, and then they put an electrode on my left hip, and they put the other electrode in the tub of water that my foot was in, and it sent like electrical current through that whole area. And honestly, it was sort of, I didn't really know how to feel. I didn't really trust it at first, but as he ratcheted up the voltage or the current, whatever it is, I'm not sure the technical term, I did feel some relief in that hip area and also down the whole left side of my body where she had been working today. So, second visit went well. I am not cleared to return to running. The criteria that needs to happen before I can try to run again is I need to wake up in the morning. I need to have no pain in my left heel first thing in the morning, because there's points during the day where I don't feel that pain, and that's been the case for weeks. That's why this has been so difficult, is because I have, pain first thing in the morning, but then by the time I'm working out, it goes away, and then I'll spend hours throughout the day not even thinking about it, and then it comes back in the night, and then other days it's with me from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to sleep. It's just been sort of like every day has been a little bit different. However, I am really trying to stay as positive as possible. Obviously, any triathlete is a little bit thrown off when we have to remove one of the sports from the training regimen. It feels like you're sort of letting that part of your athleticism go a little bit. However, I've been able to be very productive even despite this injury. Last week I got a lot of good swimming done, a lot of good biking done, a lot of good strength training done. So let's dive into how last week's training went, and then we'll talk about next week and wrap this video up. So we're going to dive into last week's training. On Monday, I went and swam my longest swim in quite some time, 3,000 yards, really good start to the week. I also had yoga on Monday night, and that was also a very helpful session. I really feel like yoga has been helping me sort of get over this injury as well. So great swim, great yoga on Monday. Tuesday, woke up and I did my own strength training on Tuesday. The 12-week strength program that I was on, I completed it last week. So as of right now, I don't have a structured strength training program. However, I'm just going and taking a look at previous workouts that I've done, trying to stick with that same Tuesday, Thursday routine, and really just sort of, I don't want to take my foot off the gas. I'm working to try to get some more structured strength training planned around my triathlon training by working with the same coach that did the 12-week plan, but I don't have that in place yet. So did my own program, own strength training program on Tuesday morning. Had a 1-hour bike ride with a 40-minute zone 3 main set. It's like the third time I've done this workout in the last couple of weeks. I averaged just about 254 watts for 40 minutes. And actually didn't feel too bad by the end of that one. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable in that zone 3. No run after the bike, just the strength and biking on Tuesday. On to Wednesday, I went to the pool really early in the morning. I got another 1,200 or so yards done in the water. Because I'm not running, I'm trying to supplement a little bit of that with some extra swimming. So normally I would have a speed work type of run to do on Wednesdays, but I went to the pool instead. And then I went and did some more strength training with the group at the Powerhouse Gym. So got to work directly one-on-one, not quite one-on-one, a small group of strength training with my coach. So I got to work directly with my triathlon coach on Wednesday, and I did a ton of lower body work. We did wall balls, we did squat jumps, we did burpees, and also some weighted walking lunges. So it was a pretty heavy day on my legs. But the swim and strength on Wednesday felt good. Thursday, got out on my bike. I had a 1-hour easy ride to do, or 1-hour zone 2 ride. I went out and did some loops at the park, and then went and did some back and forth on this sort of long stretch of road. You get about 6-7 minutes of uninterrupted riding straight down Space Center Boulevard. Really enjoyed that ride as well. Felt good to be out on the road. I've been feeling pretty strong on my bike lately, and I'm happy to say that I think I kept that one somewhat. Well, my average power was 157, so I didn't get anywhere. My zone 2 starts around 200, so I wasn't really in my zone 2 power the whole time, but I did spend a little bit of time in my zone 2 power. Overall, it's supposed to be an easy ride, so I really don't try to push myself too hard. I err on the side of easier on those type of easy recovery rides. So it was just a really enjoyable ride. I definitely enjoyed it. Also did some more of my own strength training on Thursday as well. So good bike strength on Thursday. Friday, back to the pool, third swim of the week. Finally got myself up over 6,000 yards total swimming distance, and that felt really good. And moving on to the weekend, normally I have an hour run, and I swapped that out with another hour strength session. So you'll see I have been doing more strength sessions and some more swimming to try and compensate for the lack of running, and so far that's gone pretty well. So Saturday strength training session, again, I drove that one myself, kind of came up with my own moves to do. I did some step back lunges, I did some goblet squats, I did some pull-ups, I did some push-ups, I did some, what are they called, dead bugs on my back, I did some shoulder taps from a plank position. So really just trying to get that strength training done. And then moving on to yesterday, had a 1-hour bike ride with 2 10-minute zone 4 efforts, and I had a fantastic ride yesterday. Had another athlete with me that wanted to hang on and ride in my draft for my zone 4 intervals, which is so much fun. Like, I end up doing my zone 4 intervals on my own quite a bit. A lot of times when I'm riding with the group, the sort of power output and pace that I'm going to be going at for that zone 4 is, not to say that other athletes can't do it, it's just that it might be working at a higher level than they're supposed to be for that given training ride. So a lot of times I end up riding with the group for the warm-up and just sort of taking off on my own when it's time to do my intervals. However, on Sunday, one of the other athletes was excited. He'd done an hour riding indoors already, so he was already ready to go. Had a little bit of a longer ride to do, and told me he wanted to hang on for my first 10-minute zone 4. And I really enjoyed that. I mean, I'm pushing, I'm trying to ride my high zone 4 power, and knowing that other rider is right behind me and trying to hang on and riding fast, like, it's so much fun. I love it when I get to ride with other people, whether I'm pulling or whether I'm on the wheel. It's really, really a lot more fun than riding by yourself. So that first 10-minute effort, we got cut a little bit short. Averaged 335 watts at 91 cadence. I'm really happy with that because that's about 20 watts above my current rated FTP. My heart rate was under control, and I've been trying to get away from grinding when I'm doing my high power output. I'm trying to get used to high output with a high cadence. And in the last year or so, I've really started to slow my cadence down. I think for a while I was thinking that lower 80s cadence was more efficient for me, and I sort of enjoyed that sort of like more of a grinding feeling. But as I've been doing this strength training, I've found that my ability to put the power down at higher cadences feels better. So I'm really glad that I've been trying to stick with that and get my cadence back up to 90 and even shoot for a little bit higher than 90. So outstanding first 10-minute interval, and then on the way back averaged 331 watts for the second one. Really happy with both those power wattage averages, and the fact that I didn't have any discomfort later in the day from my hip or my left side. I really feel encouraged by this previous week of training that I can bike hard, I can swim, I can do strength training, I can do all of that while my TFL is healing and not be, kicking the can down the road. So great ride yesterday. Let's take a quick look at this coming week. I already went to the pool this morning and knocked out 2,100 yards. I'm really going to try to swim at least 3 times this week, if not 4, to try to get my weekly swim yardage up over 7,000 this week. That's sort of my goal, 7,000. I did a little over 6,000 last week. Let's pump that number up over 7 this week. Tonight I'm going to go to yoga, and then tomorrow on the bike, it looks like I've got another 40-minute zone 3 steady state. Probably going to try to shoot for a higher power output than last week just to make it interesting. I don't really enjoy doing the same exact thing over and over again, so I'll try to make that a little bit more interesting. Also going to do some strength training tomorrow. On Wednesday, probably going to go back to the pool, do some more strength training again. And then on Thursday, I'm going to get back on my bike, do some more strength training. Friday for a swim, and then this weekend I had planned to race a sprint distance triathlon, and I really think that is officially out of the question. I had held out hope a little bit to see if I'd be back to running already by this previous weekend, but I was not, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to be running even by the end of this week, so not a good idea to go and try to go race a sprint distance triathlon. But there is another sprint distance race. The Texas City Triathlon is a little bit down the road. It's a couple weeks into September. I'm optimistic at this point, fingers crossed, that I'll be able to return to running, do a little bit of prep, and then get out and race that one. I really want to do one more sprint distance race this year before I do a 70.3 distance race to sort of end my season in November. 2 great sprint races done. I really want that third one. I'm trying to get a ranking on the USA Triathlon, the official ranking. I have around 91 point average right now, and anything above 90 you can get on the USAT All-American list. So I believe if I have one more sprint race where I'm able to get in that 90th percentile with my result, I will have achieved, for the first time, I will have achieved that All-American status. So despite this injury being a little bit of an inconvenience, I really feel like my season as a whole is still moving along really well. I've accomplished a lot this year, and I have a couple more, hopefully 2 more opportunities to go and race again before the end of the season. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for checking this out. I appreciate you taking the time to listen through this. As usual, if you have anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to ask me, please throw it in the comments. I love reading comments on any videos that I post, and I am an open book when it comes to my training. So with that being said, take care, have a great week. I'll be back next Monday with an update on my TFL situation, and who knows, maybe I will have even gone for a run between now and next Monday. We'll find out. Take care.